Your host, up guys, Seiishizo here from the LA hotel. Still there. Final day here for me, flying back tomorrow. We got this thing that's coming. I already showcased this team back on YS account. I've been running it for pretty much the whole event that I was here. And this team is pretty walling. This team is very fast. I don't happen to have the RTA skin for Belial because if I don't really use the units, I tend to give the skins towards the L&D units. So if I pull a Lucifer, it has a skin. If I pull a Beelzebub, it has a skin. And then I was like, what can I do? One of the three normal units, and I don't use all three of them. I gave it to the unit that has most skills, so I actually gave it to the fire one. So yeah, that is what it is. This team, it's been running crazy fast. It's very good. It does have a decent to very good room quality, I would say. But people have been asking, what if I don't have Belial? What is the best option? There are some options that have been noticed already on the on Reddit from other videos, that kind of stuff. Good options you hear are like Ayunu, Naomi. Those are very like free-to-play-ish, friendly, obtainable. But I want to try some other things. But first of all, I'm gonna showcase you this team, showcase the runes, showcase what we're working with, and then I'll just go for a bunch of funny units, a bunch of units that I think might be good, a bunch of units that I will mention that I do not have but I think might be very good. So biggest question is always who of the demons is the best. So Lucifer is an HP type unit which really lowers its damage, but with Red Battlefield you actually do 50% damage on everything. The 50% damage adds a lot of damage. Its base attack compared to a Belial is a lot lower. Also the S2 on this thing is actually kind of trash, except for just making sure that the Red Battlefield works. So with that said, I think Lucifer is better, but I'm not 100% sure. Beelzebub is for sure better than Belial because he adds like what, 55 extra on the base attack. So that has to be for sure better. And it's mainly about the S1, the S2, the passive doesn't really matter. The reason why this unit is actually that good, and which some people have not noticed yet while still using this team, why is the demon as good as it is right now? The demon steals HP from side units and uses that for its damage he does on the unit you're attacking. So therefore that happens during every Tricaru skill or every Tricaru team up. So the side crystals next to the boss, they have a lot of HP. With that, these units do a lot of damage. Mephisto is quite a bit worse actually because his S2 is shit and his base attack is the lowest of like all. Yeah, I think his base attack is the lowest of all 5 of them. The team ups actually really matter for how fast your run is. Because, well, okay, also the Lucian thing. If the team up happens to be both times with the Lucian and the Belial, then in that case you will do so much damage you can actually 2 team up the boss and it's dead. Even on the final boss. If you got a team after this team up with Belial and Lucian and then another team up with Belial and Lucian, I can 2-shot the boss after Lucian. Looking at the runes that we're rocking right now. So Lucian, as I said, 85. It always crits on the crystals, or it always crits on the golems, but not always on the crystals. Then we have the the artifacts you want to do for this is damage together. I don't really have that, but if you think about it, damage on water is pretty much as good as damage together. However, you do need to kill the golem, so you may need that extra damage on water. And then this is just some crit damage S3, but actually crit damage S3 is not really the best you can give on this thing. I think actually, wait, is this even a good Lucian? Yeah, this is a good Lucian. I think actually doing damage together and crit damage on S1 is probably the best thing you can give to this Lucian. Wait, I gave that to the wrong Lucian. I thought I had this artifact on this Lucian already. But damage together helps for every team up S1, and that's, if you already clear the waves, you don't really need more on that, right? So that's what we have there. Then my Icarus, for some reason, I didn't even aim for this, but they all have the exact same speed. This is a triple fire Icaru, you've seen it before in similar videos of mine. Then we have an Icaru with a fight, accuracy, and a guard set. Decent amount of crit rate, very good amount of attack, I would say. And then we have the final one, again, very good amount of attack, decent amount of crit rate, decent amount of crit damage. Still good amount of accuracy. You need 55 accuracy to always land. I have an accuracy set, so that actually makes this one 50. That makes this one 30, which is low, and this one 54. So with that said, that's pretty much my Icarus. This is a bit more damage focused. And then for artifacts, it's still damage together, 23 here. Damage together, a little bit of accuracy as one, so this one is actually boosted to 44. Okay, first test I'm going to do is actually different. Because I'm very curious. What will happen if I just do this? What's the speed for the Lucian to lap the boss? Yeah, you just want to lap the final boss, so I think you need plus 62-ish. Okay, so for this you kind of want that 5th unit to actually get that damage in there and kill it. So I guess that's why you kind of need the final unit. Let me actually check for sure. Yeah, you need 62 and then plus 62 and then you already lap the boss, so that's pretty simple. But yeah, you're gonna get hit right now, which is not that convenient. It will probably fail. Could you test Naomi? I don't have a Naomi, so that's not gonna help. So okay, let's go. Ayuno. Let's see how this Ayuno things work. I have Ayuno skin. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I am missing some crit rate on the Lucian, which is not really recommended. I will show actually the Lucian or the stats of the units in a second. It's not really recommended to miss some crit rate, but 9 out of 10 you still clear the wave, because if I miss 2 critters on the side crystals, then I will not actually kill it, otherwise I'm still good. Let's do a good amount of damage. It's a little bit slower, but it seems fine. I'm pretty sure this team is very safe, because the moment Ayuno dies, Ayuno actually comes back and gives you the slap of your life anyways. So I think actually on a counter he might not go for his counter, but otherwise he should do it. It is definitely quite a bit slower than going for the Belial, but this is probably the best option if you don't have a Belial. I think either this or Naomi. But there are a bunch of other units I just want to test. I want to just see if they're good. One I'm really curious about, which I do not have, is Momo. I want to see how much Momo stacks for her passive the moment they do team-ups. It might be very strong, I'm not sure. The issue you have if you do too many hits, you also get countered. Because the last unit, during the team-up, gets the counter from the boss the moment you go over the threshold. So that's why the Ayuno always gets slapped right now, and the Tricarus have fast animations, and they just, well, they don't get it. For some reason, Ayuno doesn't go for the counter when he gets killed by these AoE slap, which is kind of weird. I don't really know how that works. Does this team work in Dragons 2? No, you actually lack damage. Even with the Belial, everything, even with very good runes, you lack damage. And not hitting the side crystals on these make it kind of painful from time to time, because the crystals hit a lot harder. Still, with the nerf, they are a lot weaker than it used to be. It comes back and it's good. Okay, so it's not 100% I would say, but it comes pretty close. You can put the thing on Vampire, also with the Belial you can put it on Vampire, but from what I've seen it's definitely not working better. So is this 100%? Not really, but it is still pretty active, pretty strong, I'd say. It is quite a bit slower than the other thing. Okay, so let's check out another unit. Another unit I was testing. It's not great, it is not great, but it's really funny. So we go for Grogan, this kind of set. Could have a bit more attack. The funny thing is, the main thing you want to look at is things that have additional damage on the S1. Anything that does something additional damage on the S1. So, which means is this thing actually does 20% extra damage flat, like straight up off the bat, the moment you do S1. So with that said, would this works in Giants? Let's see how this works with the Dragon. So like I said, you want things that has some S1 extra damage kind of stuff, and that Dragon does quite some damage actually. I tried layup with Tricaru as well. Yeah, I've heard that one works as well. But is that Dragon hitting for like... It's hitting pretty hard on the S1s actually. It does a decent amount of damage. The main issue is if you cannot really handle the counters, your unit is going to die by that kind of stuff pretty fast. And also its S2 and S3 are kind of useless against the ones. So does this work? Yes. Is it funny? Yes. Is it actually good? No. I would recommend to stay with like a Tricaru, or not the Tricaru, with the Ayuno, any wind unit in general actually. I wouldn't say there's too many LD5s that can get away with doing this good. Like you could say like Manananan and that kind of stuff, but also that's, it would just die on counters. Like sure, Beelzebub, you would be very good to do this, but the other units, maybe not so much. Momo, I actually want to test if Momo's actually good, because I have a feeling Momo can actually be very good here. And this thing, yeah, it just dies by the counter, so you kind of have to... Does the Giant revenge on the last unit in the lineup? No, the Giant actually revenge on the unit that hits the last. But you need your unit to hit last, otherwise it's not gonna hit on armor break. And the Icarus actually have a very fast animation, so therefore that happens. It's the same if you go with twins. Twins are always counted by the one that hits last. Going for a Grogan is not really the best option. Other units I have, which I would say that are decent options. I might say Jemire is actually a decent option, but the issue is S1 is damage according to speed. You're gonna be very low on the speed, so that doesn't do too much. However, your S2 actually has decent damage, but the issue is it's gonna use Illusion of Time and therefore is a bit less. A good option I do want to test is Mr. Carbine. I think Mr. Carbine could be very nice, but you want him to be a little bit fast. So let's put this rune set from the Grogan towards the Carbine. Or is that too slow? No, that's perfect. Okay. So let's go for this. Again, we go for the, well, damage on water. I don't really have good team ups on this element for some reason. Why couldn't you be water? Would be really nice. Would be really good. Okay, so Carbine. Why would Carbine be good? Again, looking at things that amplify like S1 kind of stuff, right? So this thing actually amplifies the damage of S1. Issue is he doesn't have perfect eye for going into hidden state, which would be very nice. If he had that, I think this would actually be better than Belial. But let's actually see how it works. I made it with a certain amount of speed that it is actually moving after the Lucian and before the Icarus, if I'm not mistaken. Could be weird. Could be wrong, but let's see where it goes for. Okay, so we have that, perfect. Then let's go for an S1 into a hidden state. Okay, that's solid. That's actually legit solid. Okay, let's see how this goes. I didn't go S1 or S2. Also, for some reason it doesn't counter... Wait, that actually means that Carbine makes it that Carbine doesn't get countered. That's actually pretty decent for some players. Because if you have a squishy unit that... Because the Carbine S1 is that fast of the animation, the Icaru gets countered. Therefore your Carbine is not gonna get as many hits as other units would do. But it also means if it's not armor broken yet, your Carbine is going to do less damage. But that's pretty nice. What about Drunken Masses? I don't really have Drunken Masses, so I'm not really sure if that would be good or bad. Why don't you go in your hidden state mode, mate? Yeah, that's kind of hurts. Okay. Drunken Masses works. True. True. Have you tried Lin? I haven't tried Lin yet. I haven't tried Lin yet, and I'll probably try a Drunken Master or two. Wait, no. I only have the Light Drunken Master skill, but that's probably not the one you want to use. Or like ruined in the first place. I just want to see how Carbine does if we got like a perfect rotation of all of the skills that should be done in the right way. It says one ignores damage. Yeah, I know it's ignoring defense, but I'm not sure if it actually makes it good or not. Okay, attack buff. Solid. I use wind one, it's pretty nice. Okay. I just want to see a perfect rotation. So we can two hit that. That is pretty nice. Okay, good team up. No armor, pretty late on the armor break though. And all of the team ups went with wrong units, but when that happens you survive that, that does a lot of damage. So it's not going to be faster, but I think this is actually a very solid option. So let's say if you have a Ayunu but you use it for siege, so you don't want to use your Ayunu or you can't build a second one, I think Carbine could be a very nice one as well. So next unit I'm going to look at, I'm not sure if Suiki actually makes sense as a unit to look at. I technically think this team has a faster, or a potential for a fastest run. Kind of iffy. Okay, at least we got to hit the main. We killed it in two team ups, so it is possible with Carbine. If Carbine goes into the S2, it is possible to kill it in two team ups with Lucian and Carbine. The boss is dead, so you technically 3 turn. So the best run is 1 turn here in this wave. Then you go 3 turns in this turn. No, well, technically, well, you have to go in the hidden state, so it's technically 4 turns. So that was technically a 4 turn kill. Then this would go amputation magic, would be a 1 turn kill. and then you go in the final boss, you go for another 4-turn kill. But since the animations are that fast, because the animation of a carbine is way faster than the animation of Belial, I think that this could actually beat my fastest time if I let it run for like 2-3 hours. I'm actually going to try that later, but I think this could potentially, especially if I run it with the optimizer and go for the highest damage output, then you could clear the whole thing in 8 turns. But the turns, technically with Belial, you could clear it in 6 turns, but these turns are faster than Belial. So I think this might actually be one of the best. I think I would classify this as the best option. Maybe Naomi is better, I'm not 100% sure. But I'm gonna try some more units. Okay, I guess I'm gonna try the dark one. It's also the highest on the base attack, I'd say. Okay, I'm gonna max skill the dark one real quick. Okay, so for testing the next unit, Wei Shin. Been running the carbine team on the background. It's been failing from time to time. Okay, these runs are really slow. Main issue is carbine, when he doesn't do S2, it's kinda shitty run. I also did get a run which was literally 0.01 seconds slower than my fastest team right now. So I am pretty sure if I let this team run for like 3-4 hours, I got the new fastest time. I'm pretty sure about that. Because animations are just faster than that. But from what I've heard is that this Dark Drunken Master, I love myself a Drunken Master, is going to be, was actually used by someone pre-nerf of the DB12. So let's actually see what we can do. You are a 15 speed, perfect looking. Okay, solid, solid. We have as one that actually gives attack buff. Oh no, wait, attack break. Attack break is actually pretty nice. And then it does ignore defense, which can add up to quite a lot of damage. Ignore defense, though, is not the best thing because there's already an armor break. So, let's see. We're kind of lagging again. I'm so sorry about that. It's kind of lagging. It's okay slash laggy-ish. But let's see what he does. He can handle hit or two. Larry, too. Okay, so the damage-wise, he's not really on par of the damage that he does enough damage to kill the thing. Belial's still a lot better for the damage output here. Just him and Tricaru? Wait, really? I'm gonna try this for a run. I think I still have to do with Illusion later, but... Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. This is actually pretty funny. I think I wouldn't have to make my Icarus faster then, because my Icarus don't outspeed the boss twice. You need Icarus that are plus 62 speed then. Or not plus 260 or plus 62, but they need to be like, I don't know, like plus 55. Otherwise they don't outspeed the boss twice. 55, 56, 57, somewhere around that speed. But it is actually a pretty funny run. Let me actually try it with Illusion again. What the heck am I looking at? Some guy that's like drinking and rolling at your face. It's kind of hilarious, actually. It's actually kind of hilarious. The thing, yeah, you need the will runes. If you do this, you kind of need the will runes, because the moment you get armor broken, then you have like your, then you have armor break. Well, yeah, that makes sense. If your armor broken, you have armor break. Well, yeah. Man, I'm talking like a drunken master right now. If you have armor break, you don't team up with 3. Okay, let's see how fast this shit actually is. It's not that fast. Let's go for the Lucian team again. Yeah, 40 seconds. It's kind of iffy. So yeah, definitely an interesting team. Would I say it's one of the better ones to go for? Not 100% sure though, but it is definitely an option. If your Icarus are a little bit faster and all of your Icarus move before the boss, which is not that difficult because the boss is like 90 speed in total, this is actually a pretty decent solution setup. idea to go for. We're looking at 23 seconds. I actually like this idea more than some of the water, or like more than some of the wind options. An option I would really like to try is Momo, but I do not have Momo. Momo, apparently, from what I heard from someone in the chat, Momo does actually stack for like, if they team up, every unit that is teamed up with like every single attack counts as a stack. So that's not really useful if he dies in one hit though. So with that, you can actually have a pretty fast stack in Momo. Momo is the light, what's it called? Not the light, the wind mage. Wind Mage also S1 gives attack debuff. So I think the attack debuff makes you have a very safe run. So I would say that if you don't have Belial but you have a Momo, try out Momo for pure damage. And I think it might actually be one of your best options out there. But I must say I'm liking this option so far more than the Ikaru option. And I'm liking it more than Carbine. Carbine was actually kind of shit. Ikaru was pretty solid. Yeah, Carbine was pretty shit because the S2 was very bad. The Ayunu is very decent as well. I'm pretty sure Naomi, I don't have that one, is very decent as well. But this unit seems to be doing quite well because I've seen the second stage die in 3 hits if there's team up with the Lucian and the Drunken Master. So if you have this is death in 3 hits. I love to see that. So if this goes in 1 hit, and then here we go for 3 hits. Okay, we teamed up with the wrong one. We can do in like 4 or 5 hits on this, which is actually pretty legit. I think the dark one is best. Because the dark one actually gives crit buff, which helps your Ikaru do more damage. So if you like a little bit of crit damage on your Ikarus, it helps out quite some. Naomi works well, but you have to tune her first for branding for Ikarus. That's an option, you can do that. It slows down your run by a little bit, but I think like this might actually be the best option if you do not have a Belial. Sure, you need to build him maybe a little bit faster. Mine with Demon fails. Yeah, it does fail from time to time, legit. Even my team with the Demon, it does fail from time to time. If you would go Vampire, it fails less. But it does happen, yes. It's kind of depending who you team up with. So it's not really 100%, but it's pretty close and it's that fast that I think it's worth it. And if we're looking at the times right now, we got some pretty solid times. 25, 26, 21, 25, 23, 23. If I use the Ayunu team, the Ayunu team was sometimes like 30, 35, that kind of shit. Sure, it kind of depends on what your Lucian does, but I would say this is probably one of your better teams possible. Interesting. Okay, crit damage could be higher. It's actually better to go more crit damage and less attack on this thing. I know. Lyn doesn't work for me on the final boss. I think Lyn needs very good runes. Very good runes. Okay, let's see what we go for here. Lyn does not that much damage on S1. Okay, can work. But I do see it fail the moment Lyn is not used for team up that much. 21 seconds is nice. Let's roll this clip for a little bit. I'm scared you stood up and I was like, eh. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I heard for like the whole meetup. Oh wait, you're actually really tall. So I'm like, yeah, 6'3" doesn't change when you see me in real life. But apparently a lot of people were like, yo, you're actually really tall. I'm like, yeah, I didn't lie about my height, I guess. I'm pretty sure you're taller than 6'3". Wait, 6'3" is 193, right? Let me actually check. Oh wait, I'm 6'3 and a half. 6'3.3. Kind of. I could say 6'4. I could, well, 6'4 is 195, but I could get away with saying 6'4, and my team just nearly failed. Go Ikaru, you can do it! Ikaru! Oh, okay. My neighbors for the next door are probably like, okay, this guy next door is probably leaving soon, or hopefully leaving soon, because he's an idiot. Okay, so yeah, I think this is it for the video. Let me actually check a few units I would say maybe work or don't work, or options you have. So we gotta use water units for sure. Water, wind, light or dark. Fire is always off. A unit you could use, mainly wind would make sense, right? So Mephisto can be used, but like I said, it's worse in the damage because of the base. I would say Momo is definitely one of the better options, because this thing actually stacks quite a lot. Because I think every team up, this just stacks for like straight up like 4 or 5, which would be quite some extra damage. I think that's about it. I've seen some people use this guy, which is the Poison Master. He does extra damage, but it's only affected once per turn. So every turn he takes, he can do a turn with like double damage. But that's just once there, so we tried out the Carbine, but too bad Carbine doesn't have perfect eye on the S2. I think I'm gonna leave it as is right now. Because, well, thing is, I already have like, I think 45 minutes of footage which I have to edit, so. Guys, thanks for watching. Highly appreciate you watching this video. I do think the Wei Shin is the best option you can do if you do not have a Belial. You do, however, need good runes for all of this. And do keep in mind that damage together is the best thing you can roll of all of these things for artifacts. So if you're lacking a little bit of damage, check if you can actually have those damage together artifacts. Damage together is technically as good as pure damage on water, because it's just a straight damage increase. So if you have a combination artifact left side of damage on water and damage together, those is probably the best to go. Right side, you can go crit damage as one, blah blah, all that kind of shebang. Crit damage as one is gonna add like what, 20 crit damage when you already have 250 crit damage or something. That's not that much of an increase. Going, let's say, a 12% extra or even a 16% extra crit, damage together, that is going to help you a lot more. Guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.